Welcome to By the Railside Podcast. I'm your host, Zach, and with me I have Jeff. Never mind.
I was closing my door. I'm ready, I swear.
And we have the human omelet.
The human what?
Omelet.
Leg. Oh.
He's not here either. Before we get into it, as usual, don't forget to follow us on our socials. I've noticed that none of you have, and I appreciate
Looking at
that.
you, Robert.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Look at this dude.
And then check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/bytherailside, where we record live every Friday and sometimes Saturdays if we don't do it on Fridays. This week, we reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And to tell us all about it, we're going to throw it over to Jordan.
I was too busy playing on my soundboard to prepare this. So we'll just add in some vitriol.
You are.
Huh?
You already played that one. That's a double. Right?
No, I didn't. It's two different ones. This is the long one.
What the fuck does all that even mean?
It means the Tingo Scrap.
This is what it means.
Is that a baby crying?
No, I believe that was Crash Bandicoot. That's what it looks like anyways. So today we watched, well, some of us watched, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. We're gonna give him another chance, Blazer 346. After saving Xandar from Ronan's wrath, the Guardians are now recognized as heroes. The team must help their leader, Star-Lord, uncover the truth behind his true heritage. Along the way, old foes turn to allies and betrayal is blooming. And the Guardians find that they are up against a devastating new menace who is out to rule the galaxy. Which is not 100% accurate, but you know what, Blazer? At least this one was written in English.
He's not trying to rule the galaxy. He's trying to rule the universe.
No, he's trying to become the universe. Jeff, did you watch the film?
No, I tried not to.
Or my phone locked itself, but I'm gonna give me 5 minutes. Find the perfect sound just to waste you.
Wow.
All right. What did Jeff give it last time? Jeff gave it an 8 last time.
21?
21? Jesus, that's high on a scale of 10.
We got to get you like an actual soundboard that you can just play things through instead of having it go through on the mic. Yeah, you gave it an 8 last time. So I'm thinking this time he's going with a 6.
That's racist. You can't say the N-word.
Wait, that's not what I thought it was.
But it's true. Yeah, I'm going with a 6 because it's similar to what I guessed last week. And I don't know if he liked this one more than he liked the one before it.
Why? What leads you to that conclusion, my friend?
I have crippling depression.
There was more of a love story in this one. I think you liked Ego, just because he's just like, fuck everyone. I want it all to be me. So pretty decent villain, but yeah, shitty love story. I really don't think you like Mantis as a character, for the most part. And yeah, just for those small little things. I think everything else is pretty similar to the first one, but there's a lot more of the love story, and then more diving into like emotional stories for all the characters. What do you think Jeff thinks, Jordan?
I'm gonna go with a 5 on this one because I think he got some mild enjoyment, and if someone else was like watching it, he'd probably sit down and watch it. He had nothing else to do. Um, like you said, I don't think he enjoyed the love story that was in this one. Like I personally enjoyed it, just because I thought it was well done and it helped build the characters, and also it leads into more plot points later on. But you don't know that, Jeff.
How dare you? Spoiler alert.
No,
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll forget
we don't
about
do
it
those here.
anyways.
Oh yeah, I definitely will
Yeah,
forget.
100%. You're gonna give you like 20 minutes.
He's like a
Um,
goldfish.
yeah, but I think he did enjoy the movie. There was a lot of good action scenes. There was I thought the animation was fantastic. I really actually I want to watch the movie in Japanese now because I watched like the first couple minutes in Japanese and I didn't realize they that voice actor for Peter Quill's mom was a better singer than the actual actor.
I
I was
don't
like,
think that's overly hard. The English singer was pretty bad, but I mean,
yeah,
she wasn't supposed to be a professional, right? She's just some rando. So
yeah, and I
I mean,
don't know if they like just because it was a voice actor, maybe like they already know how to sing, but I noticed I thought something was off when that came on because I was like, she sounds a lot better than I remember. And then I found out when they were like just after he showed her the flower, which I think shows something for me because that's like a good amount of dialogue that was not in English.
yeah.
I would like to know what Japanese for harbulary batteries is.
Give me 2 seconds.
What's Japanese for "I am Groot"?
Which spelling?
Yes.
Bye, Felicia.
That sounds Japanese for I am Groot for sure.
That's a lot
Absolutely.
of damage.
But gotta be honest, I would take a guess, but it'll definitely come out more
Racist.
racist. Yeah.
Je suis Groot.
No, you're going to win.
No. Did your thumb slip, or you muted that one?
Please.
I meant it.
All right. So we got our. uh, you got
There was a perfect one I could have replied with.
Unlucky.
Surprise, to be sure.
All right, let's jump into the how they handled the graphics and the editing, and obviously the music, because once again the soundtrack in this one was specifically chosen. Um, Great tunes in it. I love this soundtrack. I actually enjoyed this one a lot more than the first one.
I didn't know any of the songs.
Yeah, I figured.
There was one song that is written on screen.
Doesn't mean I know it.
Oh, but yeah, they I think they chose the songs a little bit better to fit the scenes and get you more into that emotional thing in this one than they did the first one. Um, and it was just a great time. It really immersed you in each one of the scenes, which was good. Definitely a lot more emotional in this one than it was in the first one.
Did anyone notice the green screen at the end when they were flying away from the exploding planet?
No.
No. The green screen, the effects were fine and whatnot, but the green screen was like super obvious because they're flying through space, but their clothes are all like ruffling and whatnot when they're flying through space because they're trying to make it seem like they're flying, right? But then the planet's blowing up in the background and all was just like, that's not, no.
It's 100% accurate. Also, he didn't say harbulary batteries. He just repeated what Peter Quill's with.
Oh, really?
We got Skamaz.
Oh,
Damn it.
yeah. But other than like, I didn't notice that one, but other than that, like the effects I think were pretty good. I like the intro space demon creature that they had. That was pretty sick. Um, and then the way that they showed ego throughout, especially when he got like shot to shit, and then when they actually zoomed out of the planet and you saw the face in the actual planet, I thought that was pretty cool and pretty well done to what the comic one looked like.
I have no idea what the comic one looked like. Was this pretty good?
I'd say so.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the face in the planet was all right. Like it was a little on the nose. I think it would have been interesting maybe to have seen that, or maybe not so obvious of that when they landed on the planet the first time, and then when it zooms back out, you can like really see it and be like, oh, it was there the whole time, kind of thing. I think that would have been interesting. But yeah, I mean, I had no problem with most of the effects in this movie. They were alright. Yeah, nothing really stood out to me as to um, shittily done or anything like that. The beast at the beginning was basically just like an Otyugh from D&D 5e, and that scene was pretty well done. I like the like dancing Groot, most of the battling going on in the background, and he's just like oblivious and doing his own thing because he's a baby and whatnot. That was a pretty good scene.
Yeah.
Like it showed a relationship with like everyone on the crew. So I noted down that Peter was more like an uncle or something like that. Um, he just hated fucking Drax. And Gamora was sort of like his mom. She just screamed at him, but then as soon as he waved, she's like, "Hi."
Yeah,
Yeah.
And obviously, Papa Rocket, he just comes out of nowhere to get him out of the way because he's just always watching him in battle just to make sure he's safe.
no, spit that out, spit that out. That's disgusting.
I did like that intro scene when they're starting to talk. You almost see the more of the disconnect and how Rocket was just like wanting to be part of the group, but also wanting to distance himself so they didn't get hurt again. Building up the speakers for the music that literally no one wanted but him.
Yeah, he's shows how he doesn't know how to be a part of the group, right? Like he takes what people like and then tries to extend it to situations that it doesn't fit because he's never really been part of a group before. It's always just been him and Groot, or him then him and Groot.
Yeah, which was good. I like that the dancing was actually they got the animations and stuff from filming James Gunn dancing to that song, the director.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so that's how they based Groot's dancing off of. Um, and then I the also like the one liners and the comedic factor in this movie just amped it up from the first movie, and I like how they gave all these guys like so many lines because you didn't notice it when you get into like the Infinity War and stuff like that. Obviously, they're gonna focus more on the popular characters for lines, so you don't get as good of interactions as you want when it comes to Infinity War and Endgame between the characters. So it was nice of a reminder to watch this again and get that back and forth between them, or just having Drax just being like like not wearing his fucking rocket suit so he could go around because it hurts his nipples.
Drax was absolutely fucking useless this entire movie.
Disagree.
He the first thing he thinks he helped, but he didn't help. The only thing he actually accomplished was when he like fucking bungee jumped out the thing and shot the one ship. Other than that, what really did he do?
he encouraged Mantis and proved to her that she could actually stop Ego and put him to sleep. He saved Mantis.
Yeah, he carried her out. That's true. Even with his nipple problem.
And they gave her a bunch of knowledge.
That she was
Let her pet
beautiful
his
on the
puppy.
inside.
But he has to puke if he thinks about being with her physically.
He didn't have to. He was trying to let her down easily.
And then that
Very gently.
happened. Yeah, for the most part, I don't know what it is, but they did that character real dirty when it comes to the movies. Like he's a badass in the comics, and his name is Drax the Destroyer, and then a lot of times he just either gets his ass kicked or he's made to be an idiot, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, isn't the first one, didn't they say they gave him the Destroyer nickname because he killed like 12 dudes or something?
Yeah,
Like, it's impressive from like a human standpoint, but based on his race and everything he survives, that doesn't seem like a lot to be called the Destroyer.
yeah. I think it was he killed Ronin's guys, which are all of Kree descent, so they're pretty jacked up too. But yeah, for to get that nickname, I think they just did that as like a fan service. They're just like, oh, like he's known as Drax the Destroyer. Let's right away into the movie so that he can actually still have that nickname, except it wasn't actually decently earned. Like maybe Drax the serial killer would have been better, but
Yeah, Drax the Slayer.
yeah,
Destroyer makes me think like fuck shit up, not kill a dozen guys.
Should be Rocket the Destroyer because he uses bombs and shit.
Yeah.
yeah. Did you notice the foreshadowing when Ego was talking about how he planted a tumor in Peter Quill's mom's brain, and then at the end of the movie they plant a bomb on his brain to kill him.
Uh, I didn't notice that intent. I didn't notice that right away or anything like that, but yeah, it makes sense. Especially since basically all he was a brain, right? So
Yeah, which is a neat concept for a villain, and I like how they set up something towards that. I'm sure they had it planned, but in the first one, they're just like, oh yeah, you're half um, something else, and then it turns out that he's a celestial, which is like they're insanely powerful. So it's definitely impressive that they managed to kill him, but it was first intro to that, and then I think in the Eternals we'll see more on some of the Celestials.
yeah, I don't know anything about the Celestials and whatnot, but if you just gave this movie and said these are the like not gods, but basically gods of this universe, I'd be like, these gods are pretty shit. All he does is just use tentacles of energy, and he's real fucking dumb. Like Groot, he knew Groot put a bomb on him because he was talking about it before the bomb went off and everything, but he didn't just use a tentacle and take it off.
Couldn't do that. He was distracted by Peter. It took too much effort to not get God.
That's not even his real form. Why doesn't he just say fuck it, go into the earth, and then use his tentacle? Like, I don't know why he was fighting Peter with his fucking human form anyways. Like, what good is that gonna do? Why not just go in, make a mega form if you're a fucking celestial, and then take the bomb off, throw it at Rocket, and be done with it?
Well, that I think has to do with what Peter did. Like after Yondu gave him that like one sentence pep talk,
Yeah.
then he like granted I think it was kind of ridiculous that all of a sudden he could just control matter at will. Um, but that's basically what happened. So I think it kind of looked like he got sealed in that body because like as the fight goes on, you can see it sort of like decaying. Because I was wondering why he didn't just leave either, but you can see when like Peter finally realizes like, oh, I have to use my heart. He like sends out a shockwave, and he looks Ego looks shocked. So I assumed it as like Peter just like sort of sealed him in there.
Yeah, I just took that as he was shocked that Peter was suddenly able to control the Matrix or whatever.
Yeah, he did look like that body form that he did look sickly, like as the battle went on, and even near the end, just before the bomb went off. And he was like trying to make other people not leave and stuff like that. So maybe he was just because spreading too much in two different, like too many places, trying to control too much, so he wasn't able to focus it down and figure out like, hey, maybe I should just kick this bomb off my head.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a god and I have, or a small g god, and I have two options, either try and stop people from leaving you or saving your life, I'd, I'd probably go with saving your own life. I mean, he still comes across as an idiot.
Yeah, but he wasn't just trying to stop people; he was also distracted by having a
Yeah,
fight too. So
yeah, but if he was sealed into that body for whatever reason, which again doesn't make sense because his brain was the planet, but then again, they should have said something like that because without just assuming he's sealed into this because of a glimmer or whatever that happened, then there's no way of knowing, right? Like that's all just theory.
Either that, or maybe he was actually trying to do that. Because like as soon as Peter like starts controlling it, you can see all his friends are suddenly released. So maybe he just doesn't have the concentration or like the power necessary to fight another quote unquote celestial, and like kill everything else on the planet and protect his brain.
Yeah, again, at that point, I'd just prioritize, right? Go into the earth so that he can't just beat up your stupid human form and then take the tumor off your brain and then focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah, but then there's nothing stopping him from just scooting on over to your brain and slicing it in half, right? Or just shooting an energy beam at it or
Yeah,
crushing it.
depending on how strong Peter gets, obviously. But yeah, I just think there was better options than what he did. He's just I don't know, him as a villain in general was just pretty bad to me. He's just like, okay, I am kind of primordial. I want to see if there's other life in the universe other than me. He then becomes a human or makes himself a human before he's found any other life in the universe, which is weird to me. How would he even know what a human was? Then he found life, which was like some red person, and then just decided he didn't like them and wanted to kill them all. Like there was no reason behind why he didn't like them. He's just like, I found them. They were a disappointment, so now they must all die. What? A disappointment how and to what? Like, do you just not like that they're not as strong as you? Like, what the fuck? His motivations were really stupid to me. Or, at the very least, not fleshed out whatsoever. I would have liked any kind of reason as to why he was doing what he was doing.
yeah, it was probably yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was just like under the assumption that he was disappointed, right? So if he was disappointed in all other life, he must prioritize himself. So that would be his motivation. Like if I'm disappointed with something, I'm a god. I have the power to change it. Well, almost enough power to change it.
Yeah, and
So
that's
like,
basically what Celestials do. Like it gets more into it when it comes to the Eternals. They'll explain more on it, but the Celestials basically just like do whatever they want. They'll create things and then just destroy them if they're bummed out. But also, I figured he was disappointed because they weren't like him. Like he's this big entity. He has all these powers and stuff like that. And then when he actually meets other life and realizes that they're not like him, they're actually just a to him like a waste of space. Then he's just like, oh, I this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I really don't understand how killing everything and becoming alone in the universe makes that better.
he's not alone. He's with himself. Plus, he was that way for millions and millions of years,
Yeah,
right?
and he said he hated it. He hated being alone. He wanted something else. And then when he finds something else, he's just like, no, I'm going to go back to being alone. Fuck that.
Because it's all disappointing.
Yeah. He also said he wasn't so much finding other people. He wanted purpose. He wanted meaning. And so to
Yeah,
him, destroying the universe and turning the universe into himself gave him meaning.
yeah. I don't know. I don't buy any of that from like a good reasoning or even a logical reasoning or anything like that. It's just like I want to know why they were disappointed. I want to know these things, not have to assume. This comes back to things I've said before about these movies. I don't want to have to go online or wait 10 movies to figure out why one character did something back in the day. If you're the major plot point, or if you're just like a reasonably major plot point, I want to know your motivations, not just they were dumb, so I killed them all.
Well, I mean, I don't. Does he see it as killing, or does he see it as absorbing them and becoming like the one?
Well, he made no statement that would even remotely suggest that, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess more explanation on what those plants actually were probably would have solved the issue.
Yeah, more explanation as to him as a character would have done wonders. I did not like him at all. I yeah, I don't know. Because he wasn't just killing like the humans or the sentient life, right? He was killing all life, which I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good idea or a good plan if you didn't like being alone and then like what does he do after his purpose then? He's then just alone with no purpose and he goes right back to square one.
Yeah, but maybe his purpose was just to spread himself to the universe.
Yeah, because I mean, well, if he's that like short-sighted, like even though he's immortal technically, or he thinks so, um, he doesn't see past his goal. Like right now, he's like he was alive for millions and millions of years with nothing to do, and then he discovered people and decided that they were dumb. So then he discovered his purpose of spreading ego across the universe, becoming the universe. And then after he got the goal, after those years, he just didn't feel the need, I guess, to look past it, because that would just lead him back to like what you're saying, back to loneliness and nothingness. Which, if he thought about it, it wouldn't make sense. But I think that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
something to do with his name as well. Like he doesn't give a shit.
yeah.
He just
Also,
wants more of him.
the and the fact that if it's him that's around the universe and like that, and he did say in the beginning he was just like he was worried this planet wouldn't take, so I don't think he's got him on every planet. But if he's able to, like, he made the planet that he's on technically like surrounding him, so if he's on all these other planets, then he could form um, it to the way that he wants the universe, or what he sees the universe should be.
Yeah, which is just a lifeless fucking barren landscape.
So far,
Because
we don't
yeah,
we don't fully know that he can't create life yet, because it took him a while and he was able to develop the whole planet that he was on. So I'm sure, given another few million years, he would probably develop the ability to create life and
maybe,
shape it in the
but
form that he wants.
yeah, but again, I'm not waiting 10 movies to find that out.
Well, that's not really your choice.
You're
Welcome to
right.
Marvel. I had a question, and this is gonna like just tear everything. Like, is he a celestial? Because like we've seen like a video of a celestial, right? And it was just a really, really massive humanoid looking thing. Is there other kinds of celestials, or is Ego just like a weird subspecies of something?
Where did we see the video of other Celestials?
The last movie, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one,
Yeah.
the dude that like in the video at the collector, the big ass dude that like power
Oh,
stomped the planet.
yeah, and the skull was a Celestial skull, right?
Yeah, which I'm reading online, and I don't know if it's actually true. Where was it?
Is Galactus a Celestial?
No.
He's just a big asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, in Marvel Comics. So I guess the head was Eson or
Nissan.
Eson. Like it's just E and then Sun.
Yeah.
The Searcher who had the power. Or oh, wait, what? Never mind, I read that wrong. So the Eson the Searcher was the one that used the Power Stone. Showed by the Collector, and apparently, well, in side note, in Marvel Comics, Eson might be Peter's grandfather, as his father, Jason, was said to be the son of Emperor Eson. So whether you're going off the MCU or comics canon, Peter is part God.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay, so in the comics, fucking Ego's not even his dad.
Yeah, Ego is in it. But he's just like a planet that's a dude. He's not technically a celestial. I don't understand what that means because there's another like link to a different article. But yeah, he was the son of Jason. No,
Jason was the son of Eason, and Jason's son was Peter.
yeah, but it wasn't like spelled Jason.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find
J
it.
apostrophe son.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Emperor of the Spartoi Empire, otherwise known as Jason of Sparta. I guess
yeah,
that was how the Earthlings saw him.
Yeah.
it says, but at least the Marvel Comics is a mysterious cosmic being known as a stranger visited his home star in order to conduct an experiment that it would eventually cause it to go nova and destroy the twin planets orbiting it. The scientist named Egros started to work on a way to save his race from the impending doom. On the eve of destruction, Egros had his people moved into bunkers. He set up at the planet's core to protect them, but things began to go downhill when the sun went nova earlier than expected. With no time left to seal the chamber and ensure the survival of his race, Egros tried in vain to reach the underground vault before the solar shockwave could hit him. However, that was not the end for him. Egros was soon merged with every living thing destroyed by the sun, including his race, by the stranger to create Ego the living planet.
Oh, okay, so the movie has pretty much nothing to do with the comics, other than the name and that he's a planet.
Yeah, they just wanted like a decent big bad villain that they could use to tie into it.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were going to use like him as a celestial and Peter as like a quote unquote half celestial, to like segue into Eternals, like if they were going to link up at in the MCU at any point.
Well, with Ego being dead, Peter might still be half celestial, but he doesn't have his powers, right? Because it was actually all linked to just Ego. It wasn't some like celestial power; it was just Ego.
Yeah, but who's to say that maybe he just like hops up on some other celestial's balls and then gets his powers back?
He just absorbs the power of any celestial that's near him. He's just like a fucking celestial magnet.
Yeah, he's just becomes a little crab.
Crabification. Or crust. What's that called, Jordan?
I can't remember.
When everything goes to crab. But did anyone else notice the fact that when he was telling the story, he became a human before he knew what mortals look like?
I think that might have been just like I don't know if he did that actually, or maybe he just used that form because he was talking to Peter, and because the whole story basically like it was still his story, but I think it was tailored to the audience that he had, like the company that he had.
Yeah, yeah, because like he said he wanted to know what it was like to be human, and so he became as human as he could or something like that, and then he found mortal life. I'm just like, how the fuck does that happen? How do you become something you don't even know what it is?
It was his idea of life, but I think that was like Zach said, that was just a bullshit line he was
Yeah,
feeding to them so they wouldn't
yeah.
like
I,
dig too
I
much.
think I wouldn't have had as much problem with it if he used the term mortal instead of human. Because, yeah, okay, you can use some weird logic, like he's a small god kind of thing. He can be like, okay, evolution's going to go towards bipedalness and all that kind of stuff. I could see that. But the fact that he kept using the word human instead of mortal, really bothered me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe in the MCU they have like a different meaning for human in space. Because I noticed throughout the movie there was a couple times where they used human instead of like I guess like the species of alien, or when Groot brought that toe.
Yeah.
But later on, Yondu used the term mammalian,
Yeah.
which I think would have been a better term to use instead of human, because that, like to us, just implies that it's us, it's
Yeah.
Earthlings.
I agree entirely. I think the term they should be using is just like mortal or sentient or something like that, rather than human, because uh, like I don't see Zondu, or what's his name,
Yondu.
Yondu. I wrote it with an X for some reason. uh, I don't see Yondu as a human, and he didn't call himself a human either. He just called himself the mammalian, right? So I don't know if there's just like a writer conflict there, or if there's some like lore that all bipedal things in the universe are called humans for some reason. Uh, but yeah, I definitely didn't like that fact in this movie. And kind of to tie into that, I have the same complaint I had with Guardians of the Galaxy 2. They have all, they have the entire universe worth of things to like make up and go with, and all the characters are just colorful humans with like a face mask on. They chose the most boring route.
Ah, the ice guy was pretty cool.
The glass crystal guy, I mean,
Yeah.
he's still technically just a colored human, but yes, he was more interesting than the rest of them. But everyone else is just fucking colored human, and I hate it.
I disagree. I kind of liked the other races. Like I definitely would have liked to see more uh, diversity. Like this person doesn't have arms; they have fucking tentacles, or this person has four legs and half of one arm.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
Yeah, I have
understand
no
why.
problem with there being colored humans. I have no problem with that. But when that's all there is, it gets really boring when you have literally the universe worth of options.
True, although we haven't seen the entire universe, right?
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? Like they could do literally anything. Like they had the Atiog as the fucking bad guy in the first scene. Like that looks alien. That acts alien. That had a breath weapon that looked like it was spewing out mini galaxies with crystals in it instead of stars, and it was funny colors and whatnot. Like they used the alien nature for that. For anything that was sentient, it's just colored human. And that is just like that's, to me, that's very lazy.
I don't know. Well, just the way I'm thinking about it now is that instead of having people complain like, "Well, why did you use like this entire section of the movie is all animated?" Because that's basically what they'd have to do, is either that or animate it completely or like do motion tracking, which was still
I
just
mean, 98% of the movie was animated anyways.
yeah. But at least this way is like they hired actors, they like actually had them on a set running somewhere. Like it might have been a green screen, but at least they had more of an effort other than just like yeah, have like these a bunch of aliens just running away.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like more diversity rather than just colored human personally, but they can do whatever they want to do, I suppose.
Hey man, when you're running from space com, I don't care what you look like. Don't trip me up. I wrote down all the songs that I heard. I don't think
I wrote down all the songs I heard that I knew.
so zero.
Yep.
I don't think I got any of the like titles right. But Brandy was played twice, once in the beginning and then close to the end. Uh, Mr. Blue Sky, If You Don't Love Me Now, Southern Nights. I should have wrote down times or like something that was happening.
Wasn't Brandy the one that was like constantly playing when wasn't that the one that like oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong here, but was Brandy the one that was playing when Ego was talking to Peter in like his little bedroom thing there? Or
Yeah.
was that a different one?
No, it
Yeah,
was
no,
Brandy, and at the beginning of the film, it was the one that she was
Yeah.
singing to.
Yeah, so that one played like a bunch of times. They just kept redoing that one.
That was twice.
I'm pretty sure it was more than that.
Nope.
Want to take a bet?
I wrote it down like that it was only played twice that I noticed. Other than like I wasn't counting like it'll cut to something else and go back to them at that scene.
Yeah, I think it was just the beginning scene, and then while they were um, in his room, and he was going on the explanations of it. And I think maybe while it was when he took it off his person, but I don't think anything was playing when he crushed his tape player. He got super mad about it. Um, but yeah, those I think there's another one. The song's called "Father and Son" by Yusef that played when uh, they just either finished. Yeah, they just finished the funeral for Yondu,
Mm-hmm.
and Peter was sharing it with Baby Groot. Um, but yeah, I really liked all the song choices, and I definitely loved the more in depth they got in the emotional um, side of the stories and the characters. It just showed a like greater development of the characters themselves instead of just having like, oh, they're just like cocky dicks who just are fun like are funny or they're just mad. Just going into that and giving you that extra little bit on the characters, I think they did really well in this one as compared to like other Marvel movies. Um, until I think Endgame, you get really into Thor's stuff, but even like Captain America, he's pretty, in general, pretty stoic or um, just straightforward to the point type deal. You get a little bit of emotion when he's dealing with Peggy, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward of the character. Whereas this one, you can actually see and feel the pain that these characters are actually going through. And I don't know, it just made it a little bit more real for me.
Yeah, I like the more emotional aspect to it as well.
I did not. I do not like emotions. Not okay making me feel, James Gunn.
Yeah, he's pretty
How
good at
fucking dare you?
that. At least now you understand the reference we made like a few podcasts ago when he may have been your daddy, or may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
Oh yeah, Yondu or whatever.
Yeah, that scene, that scene got me. Poor
Did you
Yondu
cry?
Cry.
dying.
You cry, huh?
Huh? No,
What
I
about
pushed the tears back in.
you can't
Just
do
the
that?
one. Yeah, you can. I'm like the cop on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
I think that's racist.
It's not racist.
But
He sucked the tear back in.
Yeah, you suck it in.
you suck something.
But yeah, no, I find it's either I don't know if it's these movies or just because I'm getting older, I don't really care anymore. I'll get emotional during movies. I don't give a shit. Not with other
I
people in the
really.
room.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
That's why we stopped watching movies together now, so
Yeah.
I can actually just bawl my eyes out like the fucking bitch I am.
Expose him!
But yeah, there's that. What else? That the development of the character. I liked Drax's character. Like it sucks that he got fucked up and he didn't really do anything. But his comedic chops in this one was pretty good. The fact that he would just constantly laugh at just people getting mangled. He had a fantastic time bouncing off trees, going when they were crashing on that planet.
He was having the time of his life.
Because he's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's definitely tough if he dealt with that and was just laughing about it. But I don't know. I'm on the fence. Like I said before, I'm not a huge comedy person. So I can deal with some comedy in movies. It's not a big deal. But when a character's pretty much devolved to only comedy, I really have a hard time appreciating the character. Like Drax does have some good qualities, like how he's just like laughing because of how sad he is. He's just trying to cover it up, basically, kind of thing is how I see it. Because any other time she touches him, she just gets sadness, right, Mantis? Uh, which is fine, but then I don't know. So I found a lot of the comedy in this one was like almost forced. The when Drax was laughing at Peter for getting his like secret told or whatever, that's one thing. But then when Mantis started laughing too, I'm just like, okay, we get it. It's funny, whatever. And then the one that really stuck out to me as just like super forced was when the fucking robot Nebula or whatever wanted a root, and she was told like 3 times that it wasn't ripe, and then the next time you see her, she just like bites into it, spits it out. It's not ripe. That to me was super forced, and I didn't find that funny at all.
I just thought that was like a show on her character. Like she obviously didn't trust them. She thought that like they were all lying to her. They just didn't want to give her the fruit or the root. Sorry, I
Yeah,
always thought it was fruit, and I watched this one with subtitles and it said root.
yeah.
Blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, it definitely could be that part of her character, but they did it in like such a comedic way that it lost all that kind of value to me.
Yeah, I wish they would have like downplayed the scene because like they definitely seemed like they were trying to get a reaction out of the audience. And granted, I did react. Like I thought it was funny. I laughed.
Mm-hmm.
But if they had like maybe Jeff the character, by the way, I loved your character Jeff in the movie. It's
Thank you.
great. You were
I
the
I
took of the
remember
block.
hearing my name, but I don't remember what my character did.
You were the one who wanted to smash Baby Groot, and at the end when Yondu got his new fin, um, he was the one
Oh,
drinking the beer in the morning.
oh, he was the one that was drinking. Okay, yeah, that sounds not like me at all. But sure, I'll take it.
Change.
Yeah.
I believe in you. You can do it.
He's too adorable to crush.
Yeah. Shit. I was gonna say something, and then we got off topic onto me. Oh, speaking of Nebula, which I brought up, so saying speaking of is kind of pompous, but um, I want to like that character, but she's so inconsistent. She's one of the only quote unquote villains in the entire series that to me has a decent enough reason behind what they're doing. Like her sister wanted to win so bad that she had her own sister, her Nebula, uh, basically tortured and torn apart as a kid just because she couldn't take a loss. And so she was like super mad about that and wanted to get revenge on her sister, and her father's the one that did it to her. Like that, she was tortured as a child, and that made her want to have revenge. And generally speaking, yeah, she's a shitty person and does shitty things because that's the crew she grew up with. But generally speaking, her evilness is towards the people who slighted her, not anyone else. And to me, she has the best reasoning out of pretty much any MCU villain so far. And then she finally gets the chance to have revenge, and she's just like, "But you're my sister," and then stops. I'm just like, that was so anticlimactic. Just to like, they didn't give her a redemption arc or anything. They're just like, "But you my sister," and just threw the whole build up out. And I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I could see that. I don't know. She definitely had that hatred towards Gamora, but I think it was more so towards the father, just because they were in it together. So and because of the winning thing, and it ended up causing her all that pain. But it's still, I feel like most of it was directed towards Thanos, and then it was just a convenience thing that Gamora's there, and she's like is an easier target comparatively. But yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming from, where they're just like, okay, now we just need another member of Guardians. So
Yeah,
let's
if they had an arc and gave her a reason to forgive Gamora, other than she pulled her from a plane once, like, well, uh, and all that, I wouldn't have as big of a problem. But there's like all that build up. She literally like sold out people so that she can get revenge and all this kind of stuff, and then she's just like, all right, I'm done with my entire train of thought.
Well, I think she saved, like, it may not be viewed that way, but in my opinion, I think she genuinely saved Yondu and Rocket, as well as a good majority of the crew that would have just got caught in the crossfire. Um, and I don't want to, like, I think you might have been downplaying it a little bit, because she didn't just pull her out of a plane once. Like, she saved her life. She would have
Yeah,
died.
yeah,
But I do agree with your overall point that arc was kind of just cut short. Although towards the end, it shows that it's not really, like, it's not finished.
yeah.
Like,
She's still out for Thanos and all that kind of stuff, right?
yeah, but also, like, their relationship isn't 100% repaired, because she's not just
Yeah,
like, okay, we're sisters now. Like, we're I'm the Guardians of the Galaxy. We are Groot. She's like,
yeah,
gotta go
yeah.
kill the
I
devil.
definitely agree with you there. I just, yeah, her character. I want to like her character, but she was done real dirty, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I did, like, again, this is just an MCU thing. They definitely, I think they're building on her still. I think the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie is gonna build on her in a huge way.
Well, the next one's gonna have Mr. Warlock, right? Because he doesn't actually come up in any other MCU movie, right? Like this cliffhanger just goes on for like the next 10 movies, right?
Yeah, well, it would have been earlier, but then James Gunn had that whole got fired because tweets from 10 plus years ago resurfaced, and Disney were like, "Hey, we gotta cut you because that looks bad if we don't, because we're this whole cancel culture thing." And he's like, "Okay," and then he signed on to do the Suicide Squad, and then that took filming away, and now he just finished. Like he finished the script and he's been doing storyboarding for the third one now because they
Wait,
rehired
they
him.
fired him and then rehired him?
Yeah, yeah. Once everything died down and everyone was like onto a new celebrity to fuck up, they were just like, yeah, you know what? He actually is a good director, and yeah, like fuck you
That's a
guys.
major virtue signaling Disney. Jesus.
Yeah, but no one cares, because Tom Cruise or whoever was in the news after this, I can't remember, because so much shit happened so fucking fast.
Yeah,
Like, did you know
Yeah.
that I just found out, like, a couple weeks ago, that apparently Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are divorcing, and then I read, like, yesterday that apparently they're not. And I just, throughout the whole ordeal of reading both those articles, there's one question that's stuck in my mind, and that's,
Who gives a fuck?
yeah, why do I care? Why is this being
Yeah.
marketed to me? Why
yeah,
am I reading
Yeah,
it?
I have tailored my Reddit that I don't get any of that stuff now. I've been using the fucking like subreddit grouping thing that's on mobile, and I don't get any of that bullshit anymore, and I love it. I don't even have like world news anymore. Actually, I think I still have world news because ever since Trump's not president, it's not as fucking horrendous. But if he becomes president again, I'm definitely turning that shit off too.
There's no fucking way.
yeah.
Because all the goddamn people that followed him and believed in him are taking fucking horse dewormer and dying. Don't go to the hospital. People with COVID died in hospital. Yeah, because they didn't get a vaccine, and then their lungs stopped working.
yeah.
Imagine that.
Also,
This is a hot take. Oh no, never mind. I have a job. I don't want to say that.
yeah. I think it was Kevin Hart. Just to keep honest, I think that was the next celebrity that they.
Can't cancel
Yeah.
Kevin Hart. He's black. That's racist.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
cheated on his wife
he made it.
twice.
He made a gay joke. So they made a gay joke 10 plus years ago, and so they.
Wasn't he a comedian?
Yep.
Still is.
Yeah.
That's
he
what
still
they
is.
do.
Yeah.
They make fat, gay, and otherwise jokes.
Yeah, but this one was on Twitter, and so you can't get the full context. I've seen it in the special that he did. It's the same joke that he did in the special about how he was worried about his son being gay and stuff like that. And so he was supposed to. He was gonna be one of like the three black people to host the Oscars, and he was gonna do that. And then the Oscars was like, "Hey, you said this tweet like 10 years ago, so we're gonna have to cut you." And then he did for so long. He was like, "I'm not apologizing for that," and then he went on on tour and apologized for it, because if you don't apologize, your career's over.
Well, I think that people take things way too far. I think other people also have to realize that things you say today on the internet are going to last forever and aren't necessarily going to be kosher in 10 years. So you either have to delete everything once a year or just not. Because if you want to have a public career, you can't say stupid shit in public.
Yeah,
You must
well,
not want a public career. You call people retards on here all the time.
Yeah, I don't want a public career because I don't like the public.
that's
Oh,
how we market ourselves. We don't want to be famous. Hey, you're famous. Oh, but I didn't want it.
I still don't want it. Give me the money, but I
Yeah.
don't want it.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
Honestly, if this thing takes off, I'm probably leaving. If this thing gets like thousands of monthly views for some reason, and people start to bitch about things I say, I'm just not gonna do it. I just don't care. Bruh, bruh, bruh.
Yeah. Wait. If you don't care, then you would continue to do it. Who
No,
cares? What people-
I don't care enough about the podcast to do it if people are gonna give me shit about it. I already struggle to watch the movies. I'm not also gonna get fucking shit on for it.
何お前はもう死んでいる。
Oh, that was unnecessary. But yeah, back to the reviews. Yeah, Adam Warlock should be popping up in the next one. They at least tease him in the post credit scenes.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all the character development in this. The pacing seemed like fairly good throughout the whole movie, and I enjoyed the acting for the most part, especially when it came to those emotional scenes and stuff like that. I think Chris Pratt did a very good job, and I think it was while they were filming this, his actual real father passed away. So he said that this movie helped him through that journey of his life as well because of the way it was written.
Yeah. I think Drax did have the best single line of the movie, though.
When he said, "Ow, my nipples."
No.
Oh.
When he was talking to Mantis, and he was talking about how it's good to be ugly because then if someone says they love you, it's for who you are. Beautiful people never know who to trust. I think that's actually a decent line.
It's true. I don't know who to trust. What'd you think of the acting, Jordan?
I thought it was fairly good. I think they definitely gave most of the characters a lot more range instead of just being like one line or just like one dimensional characters. That's what I was going for. I liked the subtle nods or subtle leaning into Drax's backstory. Like you don't get a full expose on it, but you definitely get a hint of like he's still fucked up about it. As evident like when he's talking to Mantis about it and she touches his shoulder and instantly begins weeping. Hashtag support men, because I feel like that all the time. I didn't mind Peter, although I did have some issues with him because like he kind of just seemed like hot and cold on his dad all of a sudden. Like him and Gamora were talking in the woods before they went to his planet, and she's like, "Yeah, we'll just kill him," and that instantly makes him feel better. And then, 12 hours on the planet, and he's just all of a sudden like, "This is my best friend. This is my daddy. I love you."
He played ball with me, yo.
Whatever,
Gotta
man.
be honest.
I wouldn't care if my long lost father played with my balls. I don't want that.
I think that more spoke to the character of Star-Lord himself, where he was always searching, like even deep down, when he made up the story about like Hasselhoff being his dad, he always wanted that, and that was something he yearned for his entire life. And so once that happened, and basically the stories all seemed to check boxes with him, and then the fact that he fulfilled a dream of like he now knows who his father is, and then that one thing that he always wanted was just to play catch with his dad, and then it happened. I think that just helped solidify it, and it's really tough to see the red flags when you have that like that stuff like in your sights.
I wonder if fucking Ego could like read minds partially, because it's really weird to just like, if your kid's like a kid, you're just like, yeah, let's play ball, but you don't really see like 50-year-old saying in if he was actually 50-year-old being like, all right, 30-year-old son, let's go play ball outside. If I just met you for the first time, you're just like, let's like talk about things and be sociable. The whole just like playing ball thing seemed a little unrealistic for the age line.
I think it fits, just because I think Ego was. I think he was fairly well versed with like uh, Earth customs, and I mean that's like the stereotypical dad activity, right? It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go catch, play catch with the sun. I'm gonna go toss the old pigskin. Um, but it could have also just been maybe a test of Peter's powers, because maybe some other people have been able to like lightning fingers, sparkle fingers, but they couldn't actually like form it and use the power and be able to sustain it while throwing it, right? That's just my 2 cents on it. Like what if?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he I think maybe the connection to the planet itself like led into it, because he also like later on once he's like plugged into Peter, he like transformed into Hasselhoff. So, and I don't think there was a point where Peter told him that he said that Hasselhoff was his dad. I'm pretty sure it was only Gamora that knew that story. So, I think maybe the connection to the planet, the connection to the light, almost seemed like a shared brain in a sense. So he was able to tap into to see those things and just make it seem. And because of his acting, to like that he's practiced on like getting all these kids to try and be the battery that he needs. I think he was able to play it off really well to Peter, and it just ended up being him fucking him over.
Yeah, I would have liked if they showed that he had like some kind of connection into Peter's brain, because you're right, he never said anything about Hasselhoff to him, and he did transform into Hasselhoff, so that definitely is either he can tap into his brain somehow or just really shoddy writing, which you never really know with some Marvel movies.
I have two explanations. Like one, maybe he had a planet or a plant on that planet, Bearheart, whatever the fuck, the one they crashed into.
Yeah.
And he heard it that way because he did say that those are literal just chunks of him that he's ripping out. Or he saw the picture because Peter had a picture of David Hasselhoff in his pocket. Um, or definitely what you said, Zach. Like, because did he change into Hasselhoff before or after the first time he like stabbed him
After he
with his?
stabbed him.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that it definitely could have been a connection, because that's literally what happened, right? He just got connected direct to the brain.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's the way they meant it, but they didn't explain it well in the slightest. They're just like, he's a power battery. Also, he apparently can read his brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Just,
think that's one of like the you should treat it as a fantasy thing. Like it kind of makes sense, right? Like if I connect my brain to your body, I feel like I get information.
Yeah, I have no problem with if that's what happened. That's what happened. That's fine. Like you said, it's a fantasy thing. It's just there was things that suggested it without actually saying it, kind of thing. And I like things to be said rather than, like I said, having to make up reasons as to why things are happening, and just assuming that that's what it was. I like linear storytelling, not non-linear storytelling, is what I guess the way to put it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what exactly he said, because when he turned into Hasselhoff, he said, "I tried to find the form that would suit you," or something along those lines. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he just like was stalking him for a bit, or
Maybe.
like yeah. There is too many unknowns to like try and find a definitive answer.
Yeah, it's probably just when they linked up, he could read his mind or whatever. It's probably all it is, which makes sense. I think the second best part of the movie is when they they beat the Golden People's fleet while they were on the planet, I think, maybe. I don't know. Something happened and they were doing like the superhero shot that like surrounds them all and they're all like, "Yeah, we're cool." And then Mantis gets domed with a fucking rock or something. And then that's what woke Ego up again. That one actually made me laugh
Yeah.
because that was just like out of nowhere and it was funny.
And then
Jill.
the Drax has been like, Mantis, look out! What were you gonna say, Jordan?
No, so I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just when they were waiting for the bomb and explaining everything to Groot was just like, does anyone have any tape for that bomb? It was like, hey, Groot, please don't blow us up early.
I feel like just unplug the button.
Yeah, or just like not have that button there. Like, why would you even have that button there? Unless it's
That's
like
a
a 5 second
last
timer.
case scenario kind of button where if we're not getting out, I'm not allowing him to get out either kind of thing.
Yeah, but if you're not going to use it, or like you're very very concerned the only person that can use the bomb in the place it needs to be is retarded and will kill us all, I just cut the cords. Like I don't think they're necessary. There's not the only ones. There was two on the top and then one on the bottom, but the one on the bottom connected to the other button. So
I
I'm just
don't know
like,
how putting a piece of tape over it would help anyways.
you put an X on it, be like, not this one. I would have just been like, yeah, don't touch this button. It's broken. It's cracked.
Yeah, don't hit the crack button.
Or just like don't point multiple times at the button you're not supposed to press. Because like a child
Just
would be like,
reverse
okay,
psychology.
yeah, this one. Like if you point a bunch at a button, the toddler is gonna be like, okay, press the button.
Yep. I know all about that fucking Dawson.
I also want to know why Groot grew up so fast. I don't think I'd ever seen that. It's been a while since I've seen that post credit scene, but he's just like all of a sudden a teenager.
Yeah, yeah, that one was. I don't. Yeah, I think he was like that preteen. I think he was like 12 years old, 12 or 13. Just getting in the is I don't know what's the pimple version of it for a tree.
Buds.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, just getting his buds. That was. I didn't realize. I forgot how many fucking post credit scenes are actually in that goddamn movie.
Yeah.
I saw 3. Was that all of them?
There was the one where there was like all the old Ravagers coming together. Um, there was the
Wait,
room.
the old Ravagers coming together?
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that one. I saw Stan Lee, Teenage Groot, and Adam Warlock.
Okay, so there's another one where like Yondu's original crew like gets back together, and basically it's just Stallone and all the captains from the other ships are just like, let's. It sucks that we had to meet this way, like losing Yondu, but let's go steal some shit.
Oh. Does that ever lead to anything, or was that just like a...
I think that was just like a nod to the comics, because that's how the Ravagers like were originally introduced, was Yondu's original crew, I believe.
Yeah. It could lead anywhere, but once again, James Gunn got fired, so it's taken a while. Now they got two things. They've got a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that's going to be coming out next Christmas, and then the year after is Guardians 3 will be out.
Christmas. I fucking hate Christmas specials. They're all so dumb. It's only gonna make sense in Guardians of the Galaxy if it's on Earth, or else like, what the fuck are they doing? It's
Well,
Christmas in Xanadar.
Santa is in the Marvel comics.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
God.
Apparently, according to James Gunn, he tweeted out, and he's just like, "Yeah, it's the holiday special is going to introduce like one of the greatest Marvel characters." And then there was a picture. I don't know if I don't think it was James Gunn that tweeted it out, but someone else attached a picture, and it showed like Santa and Deadpool. So we could be looking forward to that. Oh yeah, it was this one. Comicbook.com Twitter tweeted that part out. But yeah, all right. I guess let's get to Jeff's list of that. I always think it's a long list of things he hated, but then the last time it actually turned out being a list of things that he liked. So
This is just a list of different animals he saw.
yeah.
Actually, I want to start with my list. I just have one point. What the fuck was with Gamora's accent in the first sentence that she said in the movie? She's like talking about the multi-dimensional being or whatever the hell they call it, and she's like, and it would be its last, and then immediately goes back into her actual voice, but she switches to British for like the first sentence.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
I was confusion and it disoriented me, and I was reeling for probably 10 minutes after that. I couldn't really pay attention.
She didn't do that in the Japanese version?
No, it was more like Nani?
I don't know if it's real or not, but there's like a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special like poster. It's got, it looks pretty fake. Never mind. I was gonna say it's got the main character, whose name I already forgot, Peter, in like a Santa hat and Baby Groot in a Santa hat. But then it also has fucking Yondu in it. I'm like, he's fucking dead. What the hell? But yeah, it looks pretty fake. So never mind.
Yeah, I don't think they've just released like a title graphic. That's it. I'm interested to see what it'll be like. I'll watch it anyways just because it's got Marvel in the title. All right, Jeff, your list.
I've pretty much already gone over my list.
Ooh, impressive.
Uh, yeah. Yeah, I went over it all.
Nice. All right. Well, that means we'll get to the ratings of the movie, and I'm starting. Once again, this one's getting an 8.5 from me. Graphics were good. Character development was phenomenal in this one. I enjoyed all the comedy stuff, but I think that they went more comedy than they did for the action. The action stuff was still good, but they leaned way more heavily on the comedy thing, which is, I guess, to be expected based on the characters that were involved. But yeah, it didn't. It almost felt a little out of place for it being a superhero movie. Ego himself, it was tough to decide whether he was like if he was this god thing or not, just because of the way he handled certain situations, and the lack of some explanations on like even what the plants were. Like that would have been like I get that it's an extension of himself, but why he was doing that would have been cool. But yeah, so 8.5 from me.
I'll go next. I'm gonna give this movie a 5. This had simultaneously the worst, one of the worst in my opinion, and possibly one of the best villains that they could have had, and then they, for reason wise, and then they just ruined the best one. So I don't know. I like I said in the actual thing, I hated Ego. His whole reasoning and everything is just extremely short-sighted for someone who's lived millions of years, and I don't see exactly what it accomplishes. He's just mortal's bad, so fuck you. Um, he didn't even give a reason as to why they're bad. Just I'm disappointed. So I didn't like that. Nebula, I thought could have been really cool, but then they just fucked her, so that really ruined it. Um, the best scene in the movie was the opening scene. To me, I thought that was well done with fighting the Otyug. Again, disappointed with the aliens or colored humans. Uh, Yeah. Oh, and one thing I didn't say was the punching sounds, as usual in a Marvel movie, were really bad. But it was especially bad when Rocket was fighting all those people by himself. He's a fucking raccoon, and the punching sounds was like he was just a fucking jackhammer hitting concrete. I was like, what the fuck is this? Uh,
He's got pistons in his arms, and that particular species that he was hitting is their genetic makeup is very similar to concrete.
so yeah, this one, I think if someone were to put it on, if they've never seen it before, I'd let it slide. But if it was someone who'd watched Marvel movies before and they'd asked to put this on, I would suggest other Marvel movies if they wanted to watch a Marvel movie. This is one of the shittier ones to me.
I think you're wrong. I think you're broken. I don't
Oh,
think it's
I'm
your fault.
fucking broken.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. Like, it's not. This isn't a Marvel movie for everyone. This I think is for like the more hardcore of the fans. They had not as many nods to other things in the universe, but you had to pay attention to the first movie. I think to really get a grasp on this one. I'm gonna rate it an 8 because I do think it is a phenomenal film. I hate the way it makes me feel, which I think is a good indication of a great movie. I didn't cry at Old Yeller and Marley and Me. Fucking come at me. Didn't cry. Fight me. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, so eight is the number I'm choosing. I thought it was a fantastic movie. The soundtrack is phenomenal. The editing was great. The effects are fantastic, I think. I didn't really have any issues, other than the way that Gamora says last. She's just British for a second, and kind of towards the end when Yondu's like saving Peter's life, I thought it was kind of dumb, like because Peter's freaking out and he's just like, no, no, oh no, like no. Your like father figure is dying in front of you while saving your life. I don't think an oh no is sufficient enough. And it almost always makes me laugh. I don't know if that's just because like I see Chris Pratt. I don't think of like Star Lord. I think of the big dumbass from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
But thoroughly enjoyable. I think you should definitely watch these movies.
All right. So
Oh,
go ahead.
I'd like to clear up. You guys said that I wouldn't like it because of the love story. The love story wasn't a linchpin or like a means to an end, and isn't overly forced or like super important or anything like that. So that's why I don't mind it. You guys really misinterpret. It's not every love story I hate. It's the reasons behind the love stories.
Love. You
Yeah.
hate love. Got it.
And this one
Human
wasn't.
interaction.
Yeah. And I guess this one wasn't really a love story. It was just more an unspoken thing.
Yeah. There was no love in it. It was unspoken. What are you talking about?
They were cuddle at the end after Yondu was killed.
Friends cuddle sometimes.
Gay.
They're not the same sex. How is that gay? They're not even the same species.
Wow.
All right.
I'm not pressing that one again.
Yeah, that was loud. So that gets a 7.2 from us here at By the Railside. Let us know what you guys think, either on Twitter or Instagram. I don't think you leave comments on Spotify, so
So just
yeah.
record us a song asking us a question. And the question this week is: you can have $3 million, but your worst enemy gets 10 million. Would you accept it? Why and why not? Here's why I would. I get $13 million.
Absolutely.
I have enough to make a trust, and then find a nice spot at the bottom of the ocean.
You don't even need to make a trust. With $13 million, you can spend $130,000 a year for 100 years and still have money.
Trust isn't for me. It's for the people
Fuck
left
if-
behind when I find my comfortable place at the bottom of the ocean.
Join us next week where we will be watching The Avengers Age of Ultron. One of my favorite villains, and the actor that does it is just great. Some of his one line in it, it gives me goosebumps. I'm so excited for this one. But yeah,
Oh god, we're coming up on fucking Ant-Man, aren't
oh
we?
yeah, it's right after.
Oh god, somebody kill me.
Somebody kill us. We have to listen to you complain about it.
Yep, you do. You chose this life.
Join us next week. If you want, we'll be live. I think we're definitely going to be doing Friday, unless I have another unexpected work trip. But we'll be live Friday around 7:38 to review Avengers: Age of Ultron. Other than that, you guys take care.
God
Bye.